Okay, places, everybody. Everybody, are we ready to go? Everyone, please, quiet. Quiet on this set. Everything must be perfect. Everything must be perfect for when Mr. Recine gets here. We are trying to elevate the art form of podcasting. That is what I'm trying to do. I have to remind myself that I am elevating. I have to remind myself sometimes that I am elevating the art form of podcasting. What I am attempting to do here is to podcast at the highest ever level of podcasting. And sometimes I forget I forget what a toll that takes. What a toll that takes on my body. I'm going to end up like Michael Jackson. Not my body, but my brain, you know? I forget what a toll that takes on my body and mind. And I worry that sometimes I'm going to end up like Michael Jackson, just on pills. Just on pills, not able to get out of bed, not able to perform. But then when I finally get it together, when it's 3 hours later and I go, all right, I'm ready. And then I go, hey, what if a dog sharded its pants? What was I doing today? There's this song that reminds. I said to Deb today, I was like, Deb, how about last Friday night I did a little shart. It's a shit and a fart. Last Friday night I did a little shart. It's a shit mixed with a fart. And then she didn't answer me. And I had to say to her, I feel invisible in our marriage. I had to say to her, I don't know what is this? We used to be in love. And I'm so talented and I just feel abandoned. I just feel completely ignored. And I know you're breastfeeding right now. I can see that you're breastfeeding right now. I can see that you're breastfeeding and you're making lunch for our toddler. Yeah, I can see all that. I'm not blind, Deborah. But I have needs that are not being met. My therapist has told me that I need to start advocating for myself in the context in our marriage because I do feel completely invisible. And you know what? I'm gonna if I can't get attention from you, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do man on the street. I'm gonna go out and start doing man on the street, and maybe I'll meet my next wife that way. I'll be down in Chinatown and she'll stop. And there will just be a complete language barrier. She won't speak a word of English. I won't speak a word of Mandarin, but it'll be like a Love Actually Colin Farrell. Not Colin Farrell. Who's the guy? Colin Firth. You saw Love Actually, right? It's a romantic comedy where they open the movie by talking about 9/11. They say
every movie had to do that.
I had to do that, yeah, and it was 2004, so it was peak. Like you had to talk about 9/11. You would pitch a movie to the studio, and they'd say, "Where's the 9/11?" You would pitch A Bug's Life. You'd pitch A Bug's Life too, and they would say, "Where's 9/11?" Come on, there's no towers. There's no towers. There's no dancing Israelis. There's no people covered in dust. Come on, we're all Americans now.
You have autism.
What's wrong with that? I'm passionate about stuff. I don't wish you would do anything.
I can't control you.
I was talking to a comic the other night. He said, are millennials the biggest losers in history? Is our generation, did we get dealt the worst hand? I think about this a lot. I think about how I've consumed so much motivational stuff, motivational content, so much bootstraps. Hey, just get out there and do it and go the extra mile and hustle. And sometimes I like it. I like these motivational guys that go, you know what? Maybe every family has the one who did all the work so that their family was set up. And maybe you're the one if you're watching this. And you go, yes, maybe I'm the one. Maybe I'm going to save my family from darkness. And then the next day you go, I don't feel like... My wife can't even listen to my my wife won't even listen to my Katy Perry parody. You know? But it's interesting to think about, are millennials are millennials losers? Are we, and losers in a sense that like we got dealt a bad hand, but also are we losers in the sense that we didn't really do anything with the bad hand that we were dealt? You look at boomers, and boomers have music, and that's about it. Is Scorsese a boomer? I think maybe. No, he's 80. Scorsese's 80, so he might not be a boomer. He might be the tail end. So he's not a boomer? I don't know what the generations are, but it's kind of like, I mean, I think boomers made really good music. And like, you're Gen Z. So what I'm asking is like, did we make good music? What do we have to show? Because lots of people in history get dealt a bad hand, but they make something out of it. They do something with it. We have like, when you're lost and alone. Our music is lame. That's what we did. That's the music that we made. We don't have any like, and our culture is terrible. Millennial culture. Not that you guys have a culture. Not that Gen Z has much of a culture. I mean, Gen Z's culture is like, it's literally like Hitler, and it's Hitler. It's Hitler and watching pornography and being being non-binary. But our culture is like we tried. That's the interesting thing, is that we tried to have a culture. Is that true? Is that true? That drives me insane. Boomers are she's telling me boomers are the wealthiest generation to ever live. The wealthiest generation to ever live, and they didn't even set their kids. But then their kids, they're the wealthiest, but then their kids are like the most embarrassing. Their kids are like the most cringe. Our culture is literally like man buns, and because I remember what it was like to be young. I'm not young anymore, but I remember, being young, between 2010 and we'll say 2018 or whatever it was. I remember that revival of like, it's a peanut butter sandwich restaurant. It's the millennial restaurants of the the exposed brick and the Edison light bulbs and everything. But the macaroni and cheese, macaroni and cheese had a big comeback. And that is so embarrassing when you think about that. We didn't put hot dogs in it, but we almost did. We were like a couple ideas away from it. Like, let's cut up little pieces of hot dogs and put it in macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese had a big comeback. 2007. I want to say between 2007 and 2012, everybody had mac and cheese on the menu, and it's just like, that's the question I want to ask. Is it our fault? Is it our fault that we didn't do very much? Or were we dealt such a bad hand that we're actually doing really well, considering all of the shit that we've had to eat over the past 20 years or so? I did notice today that the new president of Syria met with Donald Trump. That's pretty cool, right? The president of Syria. So as we know, Assad was ousted about almost a year ago. Assad wasn't great. Nobody really liked him, but then they replaced him with Mr. Al-Qaeda. His name was Jelani, right? Jelani, but now they changed his name or something. Anyway, so he meets with Donald Trump, and now he's like, now like everybody likes him. Now he's in a suit and he's showing up at the White House, and I saw a picture of him. It was him, Trump, and Brian Mast. Brian Mast is the Florida congressman who has no legs. He lost his legs in combat, but he wears an IDF uniform to Congress. Okay. Sure. I mean, I can't stop it. You know. You got Brian Mast, you got Randy Fine, who's openly. These are the people we elect to Congress in Florida. They're not even like America First. They're just. I mean, you would think Florida. You would think Florida would not stand for something like that. You would think that Florida would say no.
Yeah, don't tread on me.
Yeah. Let's get like.
Nobody tells me what to do.
Yeah.
Except Israel.
Right. You would think, from what we know about Florida, that they would put in like an alligator with sunglasses or something like that. Something a little bit like, what are you doing? But they're cucked. Everybody's cucked. Everybody's completely cucked. And listen, I was a freshman in high school when 9/11 happened. 9/11 happened, and we found out right away who it was. It was Al-Qaeda. The terrorist group, the scary terrorist group with the turbans and the AK-47s, and it was Osama bin Laden, and Al-Qaeda did this, and we had to go get Al-Qaeda. And Al-Qaeda, even though the hijackers were Saudis, we have to go to Afghanistan because that's where Al-Qaeda is. They're in Afghanistan. And from what I understand, I don't know much about the war in Afghanistan, but I think the Taliban offered to turn over Al-Qaeda, right? As soon as we started bombing, the Taliban was like, you can have them. And so Al-Qaeda is now here. Let me guess. Let me guess what Al-Qaeda is. Al-Qaeda is a militia that we funded, that we've continued to fund, but then we got to blame them for 9/11.
The new president of Syria,
Yeah.
Mr. Al-Qaeda,
Yeah.
his group, Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, was designated by the State Department as a foreign terrorist organization for a long time. They just
But his group is
announced-
not Al-Qaeda and ISIS?
It's like all webby, but
Right.
but yeah, like officially Al-Qaeda has always been like we're against Al-Qaeda, but anyone who like has done real investigative work into this will say that actually the US has been funding and propping up Al-Qaeda since its inception. But this guy is one of the founders of Al-Qaeda in Syria, which was Al-Nusra Front, that we were funding to destabilize Syria and Assad, which is why we were so aligned with Al-Nusra and Al-Qaeda, whatever, because we wanted to topple the Syrian government.
Right.
So
here's what
now he's the quote unquote president playing basketball at the White House.
They're playing basketball?
Yeah, there's a picture of them playing basketball
Together?
Yeah, Al-Qaeda.
That's odd.
Al-Qaeda is playing
Oh my
basketball at the
God.
White House.
So, but here's what I'm getting at, though. If you're my age and you're a millennial, you experienced 9/11 as a young person, and then a lot of people enlisted in the military, and then a lot of people said we were attacked, and they felt that they wanted to serve people felt like they wanted to serve their country. And there was a big surge in army recruitment, and then maybe you went over to Afghanistan and you fought. You had to go and fight Al-Qaeda. You had to go and fight Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, and you were doing something good for your country. And then we went to war with Iraq a couple of years after, and that war was kind of sketchy. But some people support. There wasn't a lot of support, but we went anyway. It didn't matter if you didn't support it. After a couple of years in Iraq, it sort of became obvious that it wasn't a good idea. And but then sometimes your friends would go, okay, well, I understand Afghanistan because they attacked us. They attacked us on 9/11. They took those pencils to the airport, and they took the plane over, and they flew the planes into the buildings, and then that's just what we were told. And so we said, of course, we have to be in Afghanistan because that makes sense. But Iraq, I'm against Iraq. And now, if you're my age and you're a veteran, I just wonder what it feels like when you see that guy be invited to the White House and hang out with Trump and the IDF guy, and you go, that guy has 2 prosthetic legs, and mine were repossessed. My prosthetic legs were repossessed because I missed a payment on them. But that guy gets to he has health care because he's in Congress. And even John Krasinski's there too. Jim from The Office is there. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? Trump, Jim from The Office, and Mr. Al-Qaeda are all playing basketball together. And it's Veterans Day. And it's such, I don't know, it's hard to wrap your head around that, how shameless it is. and how these people
It
don't-
actually is kind of crazy. The day before Veterans Day, Al Qaeda plays basketball with Trump's military officials at the White House.
Yeah. It's such a slap in the face. And my brother-in-law served in Afghanistan. And so I texted my sister-in-law today. I was just like, yeah, this is like, that's what's happening. I just wonder how veterans feel about this. I wonder, because he's an Afghanistan veteran and he's a big Trump guy. And I just wonder how they feel or what they do. But then again, it's also normalized. But I think he's a pro-war veteran, which is odd because most of them are not. Most people who see combat don't. But it makes me wonder. So I was just very curious, and I don't know if she's going to get back to me or not. But I was very curious as to what he thinks and what the veterans think. I don't know. Don't fight for the military. Don't let your kids fight in the military. We were all lied to, but people keep going. So that's interesting. If they had to draft 38-year-olds, it wouldn't work. If they were like, we're drafting an all 38-year-old army, who's in? Guys, we're raising the age requirements. You can be 38 with a double chin. Anyway, moving on. Sunday happened. Sunday was nice. I had a nice little weekend this weekend with my family. Sunday we went to this little indoor playground, but right around, I forget, maybe it was like 10 in the morning, I get this call from my grandmother. I answer, and she asked to speak to my son, and she said hi. He said hi to his great-grandmother. It's sometimes hard getting him to talk to her because I think he knows that she's got some skeletons. She's got some skeletons in the closet. Maybe he can sense that maybe he can sense that she's not the nicest person. I don't know, but I'm very big on she's my grandmother. Listen, she's all alone now. We have to go visit. We have to go see her. She really wants to see you. I always go, listen, she really likes kids. So let's just do this. Do this for me. Do me this favor. Hey, come on, talk to your great-grandmother, whatever. So she has to say hi to Benjamin, and she says hi, and she's still so she's on speaker, and then she just starts going off about she goes, "Oh, Michael, I'm so disappointed with the way that Debbie voted. I have an Aunt Debbie, so I thought she was talking about my Aunt Debbie. My Aunt Debbie is my mom's liberal sister, who, I go, whatever. Dunk on her all you want. I don't care. It's not me. Say whatever you want. Say whatever you want about Aunt Debbie. Honestly, who cares? But then she starts going off, and she starts going, these young people, it makes me so sad. They don't even understand. They hate Trump so much, so they'll vote for communism. And I go, wait a minute. Are you talking about Aunt Debbie or my Debbie? And she's like, your Debbie. I go, oh, interesting. Now we're talking about my wife. You called me, and you're on speaker because you asked to talk to my son. You're on speaker, and now you're calling me to insult my wife. You're 100 years old. Talk to your great-grandson. So I start trying to be like, okay, well, nothing. She goes, nothing's free. I hope you young people understand that nothing's free. So I started to be, I don't want to yell at this woman. Obviously, she's 100 goddamn years old. So I go, well, yeah, but I tried to reason with her. This is the thing. You can't reason with the devil. You can't make deals with the devil. And the devil's going to come back to you eventually. Now, I've been with Deb for 10 years. In 10 years, she's always gotten along very well with my grandmother. My grandmother's very empathetic. She's very nice to my grandmother. She calls her Mimi like I do. They've always gotten along. They've always been friendly, even in times when my grandma has upset me. You know, my grandma even recently she sent my sister diet pills. That's the kind of person that she is. My younger sister, my beautiful younger sister, shout out to Andrea. But I'm just saying, like, I really like my sister a lot. She's very sweet, and she's quiet, and she's like just a you know, I love hanging out with her. But she's always struggled with her weight, and my parents won't let her date black guys, so so it's like, what is she supposed to do? I keep trying to I've tried to tell her that a couple times, because she's single, and she's not overweight. She's a, you know, she's a beautiful person inside and out, my sister, and I would never even, it's just so, it's a deranged to send her diet pills. So then it's like, yeah, okay, so isn't that interesting? So in 10 years, there's never been any conflict between Deb and my grandmother, but now it's, oh, I'm so disappointed because you're a communist. Well, okay. I mean, we all voted for him. You seem to think that I didn't. You should be calling to yell at me. I don't know why, but I took that picture with Sliwa, and I think she saw it. So she thinks I'm the only person in the entire borough of Brooklyn, in all of my district, who voted for Sliwa. And yeah, and I guess in her mind, like, I would come home in a red beret. I guess in my grandma's mind, like I was wearing my red beret around the house. I guess according to my grandmother, I was like around the house in my beret and my red jacket, talking about cats and how I'm closing all the injection sites, you know, and we would fight over, like, you know, our house was split. There was like a Sliwa. I was like a Sliwa guy, and she was a Mamdani guy. So it makes me upset. It makes me upset for a lot of reasons. The first one is because I go out of my way to call this woman, to visit her. Whenever I'm down in Jersey, I always try to make time to go and see her, to bring my kids over, you know. And it also makes me upset because she's got this hatred for communism, okay? But so she hates communism and she loves Trump, right? But Trump just met with President Xi this week. He met with President Xi this week, and they got along. He liked him. He was impressed by him. He was up there going, oh, I like the way your guys stand.
During the meeting, we were there. A couple of you were there, and some of you saw it. So he's here, and he's got about 6 people on each side, and every one of those people was standing like this. They were at attention. And I made a comment to one of them, and I got no response. I said, are you going to answer me? I got no response. I want my cabinet to behave like that. That's the way. I'm demanding that I want them sitting up like that, Tim, just nice and straight. I never saw posture like that. I've never seen men so scared in their lives. They have the equivalent of a vice president. He was. I said, are you going to answer my question? And he's like, he doesn't move. I said, what's wrong with this guy? I will answer all questions. Why don't you behave like that? JD doesn't behave like that. JD buds into conversations. I want to have that for at least a couple of days, okay, JD? We'll keep you long term, but a couple of days of that would be very, very nice.
I thought that was it's at least interesting. If anything, it's interesting because there aren't that many communist countries on the earth. But I don't know. Let's look at Cuba. Cuba's got the highest concentration of doctors and teachers out of any other nation on the world. China, say what you want about them. There's probably some negative things you can say, but they are kind of beating us. That's not really a secret. That's not really like, that's not a lie. That's the reality that you have to deal with. Is China is eating our lunch. China's eating our lunch. Okay? So let's not be babies. You're 100 years old. Let's not be babies. Let's talk about China a little bit. Let's have a little back and forth. What do I like about China? I like that they throw their comedians in jail. I honestly do. I like that in China, You have to if you want to talk about serious issues, you have to have a degree. I like that. There are a lot of look, do me and Michelle believe in free speech? Absolutely we do. Do we believe in the power? Do we believe in look, yeah, there's plenty of stuff. I mean, if you're going to do comedy, you have to believe in free speech. But there's just a handful of grifters in the comedy community where I go, if you got thrown in jail, I would laugh, and I wouldn't be crying. I wouldn't lose any sleep. And I see you guys, and I see that you guys are like, you're doing your little, I see that, I don't want to name any names, but I see that you're doing your little like anti-trans, anti-Muslim grift. It's a grift. You are grifting. And if you were dragged away, I wouldn't celebrate, but I wouldn't be losing sleep.
I'm Asian. I have to just put this in here.
Yeah, but you're Korean.
A lot of the I know, but I'm
And you're
spiritual.
half-Korean.
I'm spiritually Chinese.
You're spiritually Chinese. Okay, cool. So when I call you Chinese, it's fine, right?
It's a compliment.
Okay, good.
I mean, I do love my Korean heritage. The only thing that's an insult to me is if someone calls me Japanese. I don't like that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I could see that.
A lot of the hype around, oh, China doesn't have free speech.
Yeah.
A lot of that is because, I'm sorry, you're a country under constant threat from the capitalist economic centers of power or whatever.
Of course.
And we're trying to get our fucking media companies, our tech companies into their beautiful country. And they go, no.
Right.
And then we go, oh my God, there's no freedom of the press. There's no freedom of speech. It's because we don't want CIA propaganda in our country.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. We don't want literal CIA agents being able to speak freely in our country. You have to have some sort of security in your country if you're under constant threat from the global capitalist powers. So
great point. I would imagine that our CIA is like a little too comfortable just going to other people's countries, doing whatever they want. Yeah, we've just we've just gotten so complacent. Our country's gotten so
every
complacent.
single country needs to bow down and open their doors to our tech monopolies, to our channels of information. We want to control everything around the world, and then when a country doesn't let us, like, oh my god, they're so repressive.
Mm-hmm. No, and I was at Skankfest a couple years ago, and I ran into this guy. We were talking. He was like, "Yeah, I listen to the pod sometimes," and he was saying like, "Yeah, sometimes." He said sometimes when you guys are a little bit anti-America, that's when you kind of lose me because I'm an American, like I want to win. And that makes sense. Yeah. But I guess I'm like, I see where you're coming from. I guess but then hasn't China built like a really good economy from like the bottom up? Isn't that their whole philosophy? There's just not, it's just different. It's different over there in that, there's not a ton of homeless, there's not people struggling, but there's jobs and there's robots and there's building. This is my impression of China, maybe, and you can let me know if I'm wrong or whatever, but my impression is that in China, right, there's jobs, there's building, there's industry, there's factories, and there's like one state where they eat dogs. And they have a festival every year where they eat dogs. Like, okay. I mean, what are you going to do? It's a big country. It's a lot of people. I mean, he's in charge of 1.4 billion people.
One President Xi, who's really a friend of mine, as much as he can be a friend, he's a tough man. He's a tough man. Smart man, actually. Very smart. He leads 1.4 billion people. Without question.
And so that's what kind of bugged me. I go, you're 100 years old. You're sitting in your house. You're watching Fox News all day. You're required to hate communists, hate communism, hate the labor movement, even though you were a factory. Hate anything that's pro-labor, pro-worker. It's required of you to have animosity towards that. And then your president that you like so much goes and hangs out with the president of China and he goes, oh, I like you. So they get to be all buddy-buddy and you have to sit and you're alone. You have to sit alone in your house with Fox News and be mad and that's what's required of you, but they don't have to do it. You're going to tell me that, oh, nothing's free. You have to pay for everything. You have to eat shit. Just so you know, you have to wake up in the morning, work at a factory, get your paycheck, and never ask for anything, never think about a better world. And And I just don't buy that. I feel bad for you. You're going to turn on your television one day and you're going to see a drag queen and you're going to get upset and you're going to drop dead. That's what's going to happen to you. You're going to see two guys kissing on Fox News, and you're going to go, I can't believe that. And those are going to be your last moments on earth. You're going to get mad at two guys kissing. And I feel bad. And I wish that we could like have lunch or something or go to a museum or whatever, but I don't know. So anyway, so I was upset. Listen, you can't be insulting my wife. You can't call me. I said, you're not going to call me and insult my wife's intelligence. I called my mom. My mom didn't answer the phone. And, I sent my brother and my cousin a voice memo that I was upset. I wanted Deb to see that I was upset. I don't ever want Deb, which I don't think that would ever happen. I would always defend my wife. I'm pretty sure I'd always defend my wife. Especially, that's kind of like a no-brainer if you're a married guy. If you're a married guy and you're Italian. If you're Italian, that is kind of a Sophie's choice. If you're Italian, wife versus mother is kind of a Sophie's choice. But not for me. I'm not that. But if there was ever a conflict between my mom and my wife, which to my mom's credit, I don't think that would ever happen. I think that my mom is good with Deb and she wants a good relationship with Deb. But if that ever came up, you got to go wife. And that's kind of a no-brainer. I don't have to elaborate on that. But I texted my mom and I said, listen, the issue is she's alone in her house all day and she's getting, I said, I don't give a fuck who you people vote for. That was one of the last things I said. I said, I don't give a fuck what you do. But I go, she's not going to call me and insult my wife and talk to me like I'm stupid. And my mom called me and she said, yeah, this is the way she is and she's never going to change. But I don't know why she's like this. I don't know why she's so mad and riled up. And I said, thanks. I said, thanks. I love you and everything. And, my mom's still watching my dog right now. So I got to make sure everything's good in that department. But what I am trying to figure out. So Deb and I were talking about it a little later. And Deb goes, it's just interesting because your grandmother is not on social media. She doesn't know. She doesn't even know who you voted for. So who told her? Who told her who I voted for? She goes, it was either your mom or your uncle. Trying to stir something up, or it was your mom just being bored, just having nothing else to talk about, just being upset. So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. Who ratted? Because listen, if we get into a fight and she passes away, she's 100 years old, okay? She doesn't act like it, she doesn't look like it, but she is 100 years old. If we get into a fight and I was at her house a few months ago. She fell into a table. She got up, she pretended that she did, and I pretended that she didn't, because that's like how she is. But I'm just wondering who ratted. Who told you who my wife voted for? You knew it was going to be a problem. You knew it was going to make her upset. So I just want to find out who the rat is, and we're going to do that live on the show right now. So let's just give her a call. It does take her a bit to get to the phone. Yeah.
Hello, we are not available now. Please leave your name and phone number after the beep.
See, I need to corner her with it, though. Because if I allude to that's what I'm looking for, then it's going to be. Then she'll have time to get her story correct. All right, let's call it so. But, I did call her Sunday night wondering. Okay, Let's give the cell a call. I mean, she could be dead.
Hello.
Should I call my aunt? My other aunt? Maybe she's got some info. Nobody ever. This is journalism, though. We're keeping this in the show. We're keeping this in the show because I want you guys to see the work of the labor of journalism. I'm gonna find out. By the end of the episode. I'm gonna find out who the rat was. She might call back. Just gotta keep trying. I think we'll be right back with more show. We are back, and you guys fed me some food that I've never had before, and I tried it, and it was good. Oh man, I'm gonna be thinking about that when I left. We're sampling some. Let me see the bag actually. Let me do a little shout out. We're eating Madrid potato crisps, made by Super Bon, and there's a little cow on the front. If you guys hadn't intervened, I don't think I would have ever in my life dipped a potato chip into a thing of hummus. But I don't know why people do that. That's delicious. That tastes so good. You think hummus, obviously the obvious choice is pita bread or pita chips, or, I've spent weeks talking you up how professional you are. Now you're eating chips on the thing. I do want you guys to know, full disclosure, I forgot to background check her before I hired her. But I refuse to. I don't want to. I don't want to background check anybody. I don't want to dig up dirt on anybody. What am I, the feds? I want to meet someone. I want to assess them based on vibes. And if you turn out to be insane and you end up, embezzling money from the organization or anything crazy, I do think about this a lot. Getting your heart broken, opening up your heart, whether it's to a politician or a business partner or whatever. Like the reality is that most relationships or whatever, most people will let you down. Most things will sour. I'm just like, all right, go ahead and betray me. Like, you have to keep your heart open to people. And even if it might happen, I don't understand a lot of these far left people who are jumping to be like, well, that's it. Well, Zoran, it's,
Well, yeah.
What's
happening now is that he kept on the police chief.
Mm-hmm. Jessica Tisch, who doesn't even look like a cop, really, right? She looks like your friend's mom. But you would think like anyone who's the chief of police had to be a beat cop at some point, like climb through the ranks. What's her background? Is she like the CEO of something? And she's Jewish. Not that there's any kind of issue with that. But that's just an interesting. There's not a lot of Jewish cops, right?
She was Eric Adams, commissioner of the New York City Department of Information Technology and Telecommunications. And then she was Eric Adams, commissioner of the New York City Department of Sanitation. Oh, so her anti-rat thing, that was her.
Oh, that was her? Isn't that funny? Sometimes $1 million idea is not even like that hard of a thing to think of. It's just like, we're going to kill the rats. And you go, why didn't I think of that?
Everyone that knows me, they know one thing. I hate rats. When we started killing them in Borough Hall, some of the same folks that criticizing us now called me a murderer because I was killing rats. Well, you know what? We're going to kill rats and discouraging rodents from running their own version of what we like to say open restaurants.
Shut down the all-night, all-you-can-eat rat buffet. The rats are absolutely going to hate this announcement. The rats don't run this city. We do.
I didn't realize that was her. And now I got a text from my mother. I can't believe I'm watching K-pop Demon Hunters and I like it. I want to ask her if she leaked to my grandmother. That's what I want to ask her. But I called her on Sunday and she goes, who would even tell her? So that's why I'm suspicious. I think that. But here's why I suspect my uncle. I wrote a status. I think he lurks on social media. So I wrote a status about him because I called my grandmother like last week and she was like, do you want to talk to Uncle Brian? And then he said, I don't want to talk to anyone from New York right now. So I wrote a status about that. I said, well, Islamic communism is coming for you, and you can't do anything about it. So he might have been.
I don't want to talk to anyone from New York right now because you guys just voted in Zoran. He's so upset.
Yeah, it's not going to affect him, but I think it's like a Vietnam thing where it's like they know it's like a domino effect. They know deep down that Islam is very popular, communism is very popular. So it is coming. It will reach. He lives in North Carolina.
Did you tell him that Zoran kept the police chief? He might like that.
I don't think he'll care. I don't think these people. There's no. I'm telling you, Michelle. There's no nuance. There's no nuance, and there's no like. And I thought I could talk to my grandmother about that. Hey, isn't that interesting? Trump met with the president of China, and he said he liked him. You follow everything Trump does, right? Like you don't even question a single thing that he does. So wouldn't you think that's interesting that he met with? So why are you hating? Why are you mad when he's having a good time? Because you're a sucker. Because you're a sucker and you let everybody influence you, and you're a cuck. You're an Americuck. The United Pigs of Americucks is what I call it. Anyway, it just bugs me because yeah, it was either my mom or my uncle, and he does like sneaky shit like that, like lurks on social media and then probably tells. But then I don't know why he wouldn't. But this is why I think it was my mom, because my mom.
But your mom went as far as to go, who would even tell her? So like that'd be crazy if it was her.
But she is a liar.
That blatant?
Yeah.
She would point blank be like, we got to find this guy
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Yeah, she lies like a drug addict. Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cute.
Yeah.
There's something charming about an old lady.
Yeah, we kind of know that.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of know that
Okay,
she just
Mom.
lies about stuff. She gets mad at my brother for lying, but it's like she lies. She told me that she's only been with 2 guys in her whole life. And I'm just like, come on. She told me that she didn't lose her virginity until she was 27, and she's only ever been with 2 guys. So we should just call her right now and find out how many guys. I mean, she did it to protect me, obviously,
Is this something she told you when you were a child, or like?
Yeah, when I was
recently?
like 12, like,
Okay,
learning
so
about all
let's
this stuff.
revisit it.
Yeah.
Because that might have just been at the time maybe the right call, but maybe now.
Yeah. I think it was my mom, because I don't post about politicians, but Deb was posting. My mom's on social media. So Deb will be the one to post like, oh, yay, Zoran, whatever. So I would imagine my mom thinks that if my uncle saw it, he would have told my grandmother that it was me.
But Mike, you
Yeah.
have a very public online presence. I'm sure your family's seeing your Twitter. It could
No,
have
they
been
don't.
so many different
They don't
people.
see my Twitter. My uncle probably lurks on Twitter.
They don't know your show. They don't know that you have a Twitter. They don't
No.
know any. Really? They don't know?
Just my mom's on Instagram. That's it.
But if she follows you on Instagram, she would have been led to the show eventually.
She doesn't watch my show. My mom's not even on Twitter. I don't even think she would know like how to use it. They're very. She only joined Instagram to see pictures of the baby when we had the baby, but now she watches a lot of reels. So, but this is why I'm suspecting my mom, because my grandma called and said, I'm disappointed with how your wife voted. So I think that my uncle would be aware, unless my uncle told her that unless my uncle follows Deb. It's so crazy. So they go because Zoran is so mild. He's so mild. He's so toothless. Yeah. He's so toothless, but it doesn't matter, because they've made up this narrative that like Muslims lie. It's so crazy. They've made up this narrative that Muslims lie to pass their agenda. Oh, she called. I guess I was on silent. Oh, hi, Michael. I just came back from shopping. Okay, call me back. Love you. Bye. Okay, my grandma called back. We're going to call her.
What's new, hon?
Nothing. Same old. I'm just
Same old.
missing my SNAP benefits.
Your
No,
what?
I'm missing my SNAP benefits,
What are they?
my food stamps. Yeah.
Oh, you're still a joker.
Yeah. Wait, I'm just wondering who told you who Deb voted for?
I don't even know who. Somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't make any difference to me.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
a little disappointed, but I don't care. I love her. And I'm glad she has my fur coat in this cold weather.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but we're going to have a nice holiday. And I guess you're coming to your mom's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll all be there for Christmas. And then Arlene will have her side of the family. And so I just have to take my choice.
Yeah.
Of course, you know where I'm coming. I've got to see those children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, they're excited
and
to see you.
I told Deborah, and I'm telling your mother that I'm not giving any money to the adults this year. I'm just going to give money to the young children.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're going to have the Yankee swap, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll all get a gift from each other anyway.
Yeah.
So I said, it's just family's getting too big.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me. Yeah, I have to ask your mom when she wants to start making a pierogi.
I know that's so much work.
Oh, it is. That's why you had to start early.
Yeah. I kind of burnt myself out on Halloween this year. It was a lot of work.
It was.
So.
Oh my God. That was a lot of work for one. And I don't know if the kids don't. I think you got a bigger kick out of it than they did.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'll be down on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. With Deb, are you bringing the children or what?
Yeah, it's my high school reunion.
Oh.
So I'll be down. We'll come down and we'll visit, and then we're gonna go to the reunion.
Yeah. Okay.
I got to show off my wife.
Of course, with a fur coat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that would be nice. Love you.
Yeah. All right. Love you.
I have to have my dinner now. All right, love you, Mike.
All right. Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. She can't tell me. Someone told her not to tell. And it had to be my mom because I didn't speak to my uncle. See, she's fine when she's not being a psycho. But I mean, you didn't hear like, yeah, she's 100 years old.
Bringing up that she gave Deb the fur coat multiple times in the span of about a minute is a little
strange.
Well, I just thought it was a little bit like, you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes, she might have voted for that socialist. She's happy to take my fur coat. Like
right.
she kind of worked that coat into the conversation. I'm glad she has my coat.
Right. She brought it up twice. But I'm just, if my suspicions are correct, I think it's my mom. It's kind of obvious it's my mom, right? But I don't like get excited about politicians like that. It's just not my, and Deb said the same thing. She's like, it's just not. She's like, you defend ideas. You talk about ideas, and I talk about people. But that's the world. It's nuance. Hey, I like Curtis Lewa because he has a trans wife. It's about ideas. It's the idea of. You saw him when he was talking about. He goes. When a rat is near the presence of a cat, they abort the fetuses. He said a rat will self-abort when she's near a cat. That's how powerful cats are. But cats are beautiful. I spent so much of my adult life. Are you a cat or dog person?
I'm kind of a dog person, but I
Yeah.
don't. It's not like team sports. Like fuck cats.
Yeah.
I happen
right.
to be a dog.
No,
person.
I happen to be a dog person too. But I am. My brother's allergic to cats, so I never got to like appreciate them. But the older I get, the more I'm around. The more I turn into Curtis Lewa. Well, Josh Hammer tweeted, he was like, how does Curtis Lewa sleep at night? And I said, with his 17 cats and beautiful trans wife. And that did pretty well. That did pretty good. And some people said, stop lying. And I said, why are you ashamed? She just texted me about K-pop demon hunters. So I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna call her. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Hi, hon.
Hi. I know the
How are
music.
you?
Good. The music's really good, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
catchy.
real
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
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 I can see why people watch it a couple times.
What's that?
I can see why people watch it a couple times.
Yeah. And then we watched Chicken Run recently, and that's really good.
Chicken Run?
Yeah, it's on
I haven't seen
Netflix.
that since you were little.
I know it's on Netflix. Well, I was like 13 when it came out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. I have to watch that.
Yeah. And then so I had Leo yesterday, and we were just watching I put on like some Sesame Street clips, and we were watching Grover, and he was doing like a bit where he was the waiter. And the guy orders a hamburger, and he's like, "Do you want the little hamburger or the big hamburger?" And the little hamburger is like really small, and then Grover brings out the big hamburger, and it's like he like breaks the door, and I was like laughing really hard. It was so funny.
I love all those old skits.
It's really good. Yeah. I was like,
I love the vintage Sesame Street.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
So you got my message about Andrea, huh?
yeah. That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way they did it was just so low.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday it was a working from home day.
Yeah.
And so they just called her and she said you could tell they were reading from a script.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like we'll send a
My sister got laid off.
to mail back your laptop and we'll clean out your desk. They don't even
Oh my
want her
gosh.
in the building. So they said it was restructuring and then they said they offered her phone from people and they said it's the if you don't drink the Kool-Aid and blow smoke up all their asses if you speak your mind. So but anyway I said Andrew, I said this is like a blessing in disguise. I said you
I bet.
talk and
Yeah.
make those connections. So
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
but and she's by herself. She doesn't have a significant other. So
Yeah. I just called Mimi, and she sounded like she was in a better mood from the other day.
yeah, because after I spoke to you, I called her and I said, "Oh, I'm just touching base." I said I was at a shower. She goes, "Oh, I talked to Mike, and he's doing well, and the kids are doing well." She never mentioned a word to me.
Mm-hmm. I
knew.
just wonder who's riling her up like that.
I don't know whether. Well, Uncle Brian went home, but sometimes it's Aunt Arlene.
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Arlene is so far right.
Really?
Well, sometimes she's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
She's a little too online.
yeah. Right. And Daddy said hi.
Oh, hi.
And so I think between the two of them, they just talk about all this crap. There's nothing they can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
So stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Then sometimes when I go over to visit, she'll suck me in and she'll start talking about this and then I have to like stop and say, Mom, you really do have to watch something entertaining.
Is Aunt Arlene on Instagram? She must be, right?
I don't know. I don't know if she is or not. I mean, I don't allow anybody to follow me.
Yeah. You just never know who's lurking.
Well, I don't know their names. I don't know these. Like Chris at work asked to follow, and I said, Chris, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And Lynette asked to follow.
But you don't post or anything.
No. So I just say no. I don't even respond.
Yeah.
And so I said, it's not. I said, I said, I don't post anything, and I said, I really don't want all these. I don't want followers. So she goes, no, Barb, I understand. She said, it's just because sometimes we'll show each other like funny things that we see on Instagram and like with animals or kids or whatever, and we share that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't send it to her. I just show it. I'll just show it to her. And sometimes we just need to brighten our day.
Yeah, for sure.
Can I call you right back?
Yeah.
All right, bye.
All right, love you. Bye. Okay, interesting. I did not consider. I did not consider my Aunt Arlene. I didn't think she was online. I don't know if she is. Well, my grandma won't say.
Right.
And my mom is saying, I called her right after just to touch base. Let me call my Uncle Tommy. There's 5 kids. Arlene, Tommy, Debbie, Barbara, my mom, and Brian. All right, we're going to go to Patreon. Patreon.com/Recine time. We're still going to work on who the rat is. So we're going to continue this over on Patreon, and we'll try to get some info. It's Recine time. Patreon.com/Recine time.